On the Brother PE770 embroidery machine, sometimes it can be hard to see the little thumbnails of your designs on this small screen, and it can be difficult to navigate to the design that you want to use, because when you load designs from an outside source into the machine, there's no names attached to them. Even though you have them named on your disk, they may not show on the screen. So let me plug this in so I can show you what I'm talking about. All right, I'm going to open up the USB stick. And this is just a system folder that's on the stick itself. But you see your designs just show up as little icons. There's no name that you can read, even though you named it flower or something like that. You can't find your files that way. And in my case, I'm making all of these identical. They're little felt needle cases, and each one had a different initial for a different person embroidered on there. And I can't see which one this one is, because the only information that the machine is giving me is which design I'm looking at currently. And even if I load the design, I really can't even tell which file I'm working with. I can't see well enough detail. Some of your designs that you have do show up well, but in my case I had 26 letters, different designs with the alphabet, that I couldn't even tell which one I was loading. So I'm going to take my little stick back to the computer and make some folders. Okay, now I'm back at the computer and I'm going to load File Explorer, and I already have a couple of windows open, but you need two windows side by side. So here's my USB drive where my designs are located. I'm going to right click on that and open a new window, and that way I'll have two side by side so I can create folders. You can see most of the designs here that I was trying to look at on the embroidery machine, and they weren't very clear. I couldn't tell which alphabet I was looking at. In my stick I have them labeled with the alphabet, but on the machine it doesn't show the name. So I'm going to create a new folder for each design, and that way the folder name will show up on the machine and it will be easier to find my designs. So on the right window I'm going to click on New Folder, and it's ready for me to type a name in there, and I'm just going to call this one A, let me do it capital, A underscore, see my A is not showing up, and then I'm just going to call it needle case, abbreviated, because you can only see 8 letters or 8 digits on the sewing machine or on the embroidery machine, so it doesn't do any good to put a long name, just something that will give you a cue to what the design is. So now that I have an empty folder, I pressed enter so that the folder would be created, and I'm going to find the A design, and I have the letter A there. It's telling me that that needle case has that monogram on there, so I'm going to drag that over to the new folder that I just made, and I'm going to let go of my mouse button and drop it in there. So I'll do that for each design that I want to show up clearly on my embroidery machine. Some of these other designs, like the angel or the butterfly, they're pretty clear on the screen of the Brother machine, so you don't really need a folder for those. But I had trouble with all of these, so if any designs that you're having trouble with, go ahead and make a new folder for each one, and that will be the only design that's going to be in that folder. So here I'm creating the B needle case. I pressed enter, and then I can go over here and grab the B and drag it to that folder. And just for the sake of doing something different, I'm going to take this butterfly and make a folder for it, and I'm going to just call it butter. I think that's more than 8 characters. You can do more than 8 characters, you just won't be able to see all of them on the screen. So I'm going to drag the butterfly into that folder. So now I'm going to take this over to the machine so that you can see what these folders look like. Okay, I'm back at the machine, so I'm going to plug my flash drive back into my embroidery machine. And once that loads, I'm going to click on this button or press that button right there. And now you can see we have some additional folders. Here's one that I called A needle case, NDLCS, and then there's my butterfly folder, and then the B folder, and then the system folder. And then these are all those designs that I did not put into an individual folder. I still can't tell what they are by just looking at the little picture. So let me go back to one of the folders that I made. So now there's only one design in that folder, but I can clearly see the name, so I'll know exactly where my file is. So even though I can't see the B monogram on there, I know that that's my design because I named the folder correctly, and it's easy to find a single design that way. It does take a little bit more time to create the folders at the computer, but once you get all your designs on the stick and you get ready to start embroidering, everything's ready to go and you won't have to spend a lot of time running back and forth to the computer.